What's up, everybody? It's Ro, and today we are having a Latch Party. You might be familiar, we've had one before. Today I'll be joined with Birthing Beautiful Communities, and this is all for basically Black Maternal Health Week. Okay, we are trying to make sure that you have the knowledge, the resources, the insights, some questions answered. If you're a new mom, an aspiring mom, a mom to be, or a caregiver, whatever the case may be. Basically, we're going to have a conversation today with someone very special who is going to answer these questions. So, as you're watching our feed today on our website, on Facebook, on YouTube, if you have any questions, because we are officially live, if you have any questions while you're watching this, please feel free to type them in the comment section so we can address them as best we can and make sure that you walk away today with some encouragement, some information, all that you need to ensure that we are birthing beautiful babies, healthy babies, strong babies, and that we're good, okay? As you know, the parents and the caregivers, that we have the information and again the resources we need. Okay, so our theme today and this year is Our Bodies Belong to Us, Restoring Black Autonomy and Joy. Okay, so just to put that on out there. And today I am joined with Rhonda, who is a doula, who's going to help us answer some of these questions and making sure that we are combating infant mortality one birth at a time. Hey, Rhonda, how are you?
Hi, Rose. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. So, a lot of people watching probably have questions. Again, just want to encourage you guys to put them in the comments so we can address them before we leave our conversation today. But Rhonda, you're a doula, correct?
Yes.
So, can you just kind of inform those watching? Maybe they've never known what a doula does or what your role is, but what exactly do you do? And how did you become a doula?
So a doula is somebody who supports women, who supports birthing people during the birthing process. We support them during pregnancy, during the birthing process, during labor, and we support them after, so postpartum, for up to a year. So we support moms either emotionally, physically during the labor. We support them whatever they need. We hold their hand if they want us to. We talk to them a lot. So we become like really, really good friends, like sister friends through the whole process. And during that labor process, we put them in different positions. We help them walk. We help them try to get the baby in a good position. And we do a lot of educating and getting them different resources they need to prosper in their lives. So that's what we do at Birth and Beautiful Communities.
Okay. Now, why did you want to become a doula?
I don't, well, before I had children, I took one little class and it was okay. But once I got older and I actually had children, I got exposed to being a doula, and I was like, "Oh, this might be cool." So a few years ago, I took a class with Birth and Beautiful Communities, and I just been sticking with it. It just became my second calling. I just love it.
Yeah,
And
that's
recently, I don't do births anymore because I recently had a baby, so I'm more sticking to postpartum care.
okay.
But I did births for about 2.5 years, and that really was nice.
Okay. So you love what you do.
Yeah, I love what I do.
Yeah, I like that. I love what I do.
Yeah,
I
we
love
say
that.
that. We say that a
So
lot.
let's just jump right into it. So today we're going to talk about breastfeeding.
Okay.
And for a lot of women, breastfeeding is terrifying if they've never done it. They've heard stories, maybe good, maybe bad. There's a lot of
Yeah.
misconceptions, and a lot of information that I think women can benefit from this conversation today. So, with your help, we're going to just jump right into it with the first question. How does a woman know, caregiver know, if their baby has a tongue tie? And what is a tongue tie?
So a tongue tie is um sometimes with like extra tissue on the tongue, and it makes it a little difficult for the baby to latch. So sometimes if you're having latch issues, the baby's provider or a lactation consultant might be able to tell that to you and see that, oh, the baby has a tongue tie. So, and sometimes when you first have the baby, if you have people, providers that are in the hospital that are really diligent, they'll be able to notice it too. And they do a little snip. It's kind of scary for a mom, especially a first time mom who never heard anything and doesn't have any knowledge about it, to hear like your baby getting snipped. But from what I've heard, none of my babies had to get it done. But from what I heard, it's a really painful and fast process, and it helps the latch a lot better.
Okay. Now, again, we might be having some first timers on here, first time
Right.
parents, aspiring moms, they've never been pregnant, never breastfed. So when we talk about latching, just real quick, what
Oh,
does it
okay.
mean for your baby to latch?
So latching is when I need to. Okay. I if I would have thought about it, I would have had the baby doll and I have a breast thing too. So say this is where's my hand? Say this is the baby and this is the breast. So the baby's mouth trying to get onto the breast, onto the nipple. So
Mhm.
making sure that the baby's mouth is latched around the nipple properly, around the breast properly, because you don't want the baby to just be baby's mouth to be just connected to the nipple. You want to be latched all around the breast, the areola part, the dark part of your breast, and the baby's mouth to be open. And that's important because it makes sure that the baby get enough milk, and it makes sure the mom is not in pain and that damaging her nipple, because we want the breastfeeding process to be comfortable for the baby and the mom.
Yeah.
So if it hurts when you're trying to get your baby to feed, then you probably have not a good latch. So the latching process is just like how the baby grasps,
Yeah.
connects to the breast.
Yeah. And even though, I mean, everyone's different because I know for me, I breastfed. It wasn't painful. I was thankful that my son
Yeah,
did
that's
latch
good.
very well, but sometimes like um even the I guess I don't know. I guess it just depends on every woman. Like for me, I didn't think there was anything painful about it, but just because is it safe to say too that sometimes if you are feeling a little tenderness, is that just natural feeling? You know what I'm saying? Like I
Some
mean,
tenderness is natural, especially like the first 2 weeks when your body's getting used to it. But the pain and where you feel like, no, I'm not, I'm gonna stop. You want to have the baby. You want to disconnect the baby with your pinky, so make the baby unlatch. So you just put your little pinky in the baby's mouth and try to slide your nipple out. Don't pull it out because you can damage your nipple. But
yeah,
you want to just kind of slide your nipple out of the baby's mouth and try to get the baby to connect again, to latch on again. So you don't want to be in pain, but a little tenderness the first couple of weeks, that's kind of normal because
yeah,
your body's getting used to it. But pain, we don't want to do that because when you're in pain, you don't want to do something and you'll stop.
yeah, yeah,
So you don't want your nipples to be damaged either. So I always express to mom the importance of being comfortable and in a comfortable position and making sure you're comfortable to try to elongate the process of breastfeeding because you won't do it if you don't like it.
yeah. That's really encouraging though, because I feel like a lot of times, like you said, when you feel something you don't like it, you're like, oh
Yeah.
no, I'm good.
Yeah,
Like
and
I tried it once, I'm good. But you know what?
yeah,
If all it was maybe you just weren't educated on making sure your baby was latching, now you can get the help to ensure that your baby's latching, get the information you need to, like you said, just even the simple gestures, if that's what it takes. But don't give up because breastfeeding is so beneficial to moms and to the baby. And so that's why this latch party today I'm so excited about, because if there is someone watching that's been discouraged, maybe you did have a baby already and your first breastfeeding experience was not good. I and I'm sure you would encourage them to try again if they're pregnant again or they want to get pregnant, you know,
mhm.
because it is so beneficial. And I know for me, I know I'm talking a lot, but this is
Oh no,
something that, I mean, I'm a mom, so I'm passionate about it. But I feel like for me, I really enjoyed how intimate me and my son were in that. Like I love breastfeeding. I just thought it was so beautiful. So let this be encouraging that, you know, if you did have a bad time, maybe there was something that you weren't doing right or you weren't knowledgeable enough of. And now you can get all that so that you can give it another go, right?
right. A lot of times when I talk to moms about breastfeeding, because I'm also a lactation counselor too. So when I
Okay.
talk to moms about breastfeeding, a lot of times it's just a little bit of a tweak on the latch.
Yeah.
I have a baby that's under 1, and I noticed sometimes when her weight might be stalling a little bit, when I corrected her latch, it helps so much. She would gain weight so fast. So sometimes it's just a little bit of moving the baby around and make sure that she's latching properly. That makes a big difference. So
Yeah.
yeah, talking to
And
people, talking to a lactation counselor, that really helps. A lot of the time. Sometimes it might be something different, but for the most part, it's the latch and it's the mom being comfortable, because that makes a big difference. If you're not comfortable,
right.
you want to get in a comfortable position, because sometimes you feel like you gotta sacrifice, like, let me sit in this uncomfortable position so I can feed my baby, but that's only going to let you breastfeed for 2 months
Right.
because you're uncomfortable every time. So you want to make sure that you're comfortable every time.
Yeah. I love that you provide so much more than just, the pre, the it's all of that. Like the lactation consulting is so important. So kudos to you and Birthing Beautiful community. So while we were talking earlier, you mentioned the latch and how if the latch isn't proper or good enough, whatever the position may be, your baby might not be getting enough milk supply. So how will a mom or caregiver know how much milk their baby is in fact getting?
One way to know is that your baby seems satisfied, like especially when the baby is really, really young. The baby usually is on about a 2 hour sleep schedule. So you might feed the baby and the baby falls asleep for about 2 hours. If the baby's waking up in 30 minutes, it might be a thing of you not the baby might not be getting enough milk. Or if you go into the doctor and the baby's not gaining weight, the baby might not be getting enough milk. So those are two big telltale signs that the baby might not be getting enough milk. The baby's up a lot and not seeming satisfied after feedings, even after you do both sides, because that's one thing that moms sometimes forget is that when you're feeding, even when the baby is small, you should nurse on both sides. You should
Okay.
at least offer both sides. You should
Okay.
nurse for about 15 to 20 minutes, especially when the baby is small. So you want to try to nurse on both sides and try to nurse until you're feeling empty. And then when you start the next time, you want to start with the side that you left off with. So that's a way to help your milk production grow and stay steady, because you're trying to empty both breasts, because it's like supply and demand. So if your body's telling you that, oh, I don't need that milk, you don't need the baby doesn't need all of this milk, then your body's not going to make all of that milk. But if you're constantly feeding the baby and nursing the baby, then your body's going to be telling you, oh, the baby needs this milk. Let me keep producing a lot of milk. So
Okay.
those are two telltale signs.
Okay. Now the production of milk. I've heard the stories. Women saying that they can't produce at all. Some saying
Mm-hmm.
that they aren't producing enough. I've heard women who have had to take teas and
Mm-hmm.
the things that you can buy over the counter to help produce milk. So my next question is, when it comes to the rate at which you're producing that milk, how can a woman get her milk to come in faster?
The biggest thing that even better than the supplements and everything like that is the supply and demand. Nursing the baby more and more and more. Even for me, um, during the fall and the winter, we had some illnesses with me and the baby. So I've known that when with breast milk, when you nurse the baby, your milk changes,
Mm-hmm.
especially when they're sick. So your body will produce more milk, and it will change to help the baby get well faster. So when my baby got sick, I told her, hold on, I told her told myself I need to nurse her more to produce more milk. So when I nurse her more, I noticed I was having more letdowns, and she got better faster.
Mm-hmm.
So I nurse more and more and more. Even you nurse as much as you can. You're pumping more. You're getting all that milk out and getting milk to the baby. So, and before that, you have to make sure that you're eating healthy too. You have to make sure you're drinking water so that your body will not be too depleted when you're nursing so much. So those are the most important things before the supplements
Okay.
that when people talk about is the nursing. The more breastfeeding you do, the more milk you'll produce.
And just to clear up too, so when you say the more breastfeeding, so if your baby's not hungry, maybe your baby's napping, you can be pumping.
Yeah, you can be pumping and have it
Okay.
ready.
Okay.
But even sometimes, if your baby, so instead of letting your baby, when your baby gets a little bit older, instead of letting the baby sleep 5 hours, you wake the baby up a little bit and you nurse the baby, especially if the baby's not feeling well or something like that. But you want to nurse and nurse and nurse. Or if the baby's okay, you want to pump, because then you'll be getting more milk even again.
Okay. That makes sense though. Like you said, if your body feels like it's needing that
Mm-hmm.
milk, then it's going to be, making the milk so that you have it. Supply and demand. All right, so real quick though, just another thing that's not on here, but I mean, it is something that breastfeeding moms do deal with sometimes. So the more you produce, I'm sorry, the more you breastfeed or pump, that also helps you to not have the issues with the oh gosh, I've been
Mastitis.
What is it?
Mastitis and engorgement.
Engorgement. There it goes. I was like,
Yeah,
dang, what is that
engorgement.
word?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So yeah, if you so sometimes like if you might go on a date, you might go on a weekend vacation or something, you forget to, or you might go to work and you forget to pump or you don't feel
Yeah.
like it. You might get a little engorged. So you wanna maybe have like a pump with you or have like a hand pump. Hand pumps really work. Um, they worked a little. They worked for me when I tried them this time. Worked for me, especially when you just need to get some milk out. So
Yeah.
if you have just a little hand pump with you because you don't want to have the whole pump with you, that helps get the milk out and get those maybe those clumps you might feel or
Yeah.
engorgement you feel like heavy. Sometimes if you so I'll break it down a little bit for people who might not know what engorgement is. Engorgement is when you might not have breastfed for a while, like a few hours longer than what you usually do, and your breasts feel hard and heavy, and you feel lumps in them. So you need to get that milk out. So it can be very uncomfortable when you're engorged. So that's why I encourage mom to have like a little breast pump with them, or if you don't have anything with them, hand expression. Use your hand with a C, make a C with your hand, and go forward with it and try to get some of that milk out. Even if you got to use a cup, but
Yeah.
it'll make a world of difference instead of being so um,
Right.
engorged and feeling so they're feeling so heavy.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there, because I know that that's something that in the process of everything, you'd be like, well, wait a second, how come this? But that's typically why if you haven't breastfed or pumped in a while. So if you're just joining us on with Rondella right now, and she is with Birthing Beautiful Communities, and we're having a latch party, and she is a postpartum doula, also a lactation consultant, correct? I believe that's what she said. But we're here today because we just want to get caregivers and moms and women to just know the resources that you have, especially with Birthing Beautiful Communities, and just, when it comes to breastfeeding. Obviously, we want to make sure our babies are healthy and getting the best nourishment, our bodies, all of that. So thank you so much for joining us today. And if you do have any questions, you can feel free to type them in the comment section so that way we can get them answered as best as possible before we leave our conversation today. I do believe we have someone else joining us. If you are ready to tap in, I want to make sure I say your name right. So I'm going to wait for you to jump on the screen so that way. Is she available with us?
I'm
Hey,
back. Hello.
hey.
Hey, y'all.
Okay, how do you pronounce your name?
It's pronounced Yukina.
Yukina. Okay, Yukina, thank you for joining us. So we have Radila and Yukina. Yukina, do you want to real quick just let everyone know what your role is? And
Okay, yes. So I'm Yukina. I am a birth and postpartum doula with BBC as well, a lactation peer support person, and just basically all around service for moms who are in need of help in their pregnancies and journeys in parenthood.
okay. All right. So welcome. We have another question with regards to women and their breast milk and their supply. Let's talk about how does a woman know if her supply is low?
Okay, so you'll know your supply is low because you won't see as much milk coming out in between feeding sessions or during feeding sessions. And then also, too, if your baby is not gaining. So if your baby is not producing enough wet diapers, or if their weight is not coming in, or not moving forward, forgive me, you'll be able to tell that your milky may have a low supply of milk coming in. So that's how they'll be able to tell. They won't be producing much, especially if they're trying to pump. They won't be able to get very much milk out in that time frame. I
Yeah.
mean, in the feeding sessions.
Okay. All right. And Rondella, you kind of mentioned several things that would help with this question, but if there's anything you want to add, or Yukina, if you want to add to this as well, what are your top 3 tips to help increase milk supply?
Okay,
Whoever.
so
Yeah, go
go
ahead,
ahead,
Yukina.
Rondula.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Yukina.
My number one is always encourage moms to nurse as often as possible. That's first thing first, because most of moms know that, or most of us do know, moms may not, if they're first timers, that your body is a supply and the milk is supply and demand, and the baby is the one that triggers the milk. So the more you're nursing, the more milk your body is going to make, and it's going to be catered to the need of the baby. and it's going to make the milk fit for the baby as long as possible. So the more you nurse, the more milk your body is going to make. That's my number two, my number one golden rule. If you get that down, you're going to be successful in your journey. That's the number one.
There's two more out there if you want.
Also making sure, and it's funny. It's funny. You can't. I said the same exact thing.
Yeah, you
When I
did.
was so we know it's real. We know it's true.
We here, Rondella. We here.
Yeah,
We got it.
we
We
know
got it.
it's
We got it.
I mean, hey, it's simple when you think about it. So it's
true.
not
And you
like
want
you
to
got
make
to
sure
go
you're
look up
drinking
a
water.
course.
You don't want to be
It
dehydrated.
is.
These,
Yes, we're not robots.
yeah. You
And
can't.
what
You
was
can't
that real quick,
function.
Rondella? You said make sure you're drinking water. You got to stay hydrated, right?
You got to stay hydrated. You got to eat healthy because you don't want to be depleted. You don't want to be because the baby's going to take from your pregnancy onto breastfeeding. Your baby's not gonna starve, especially when they're feeding off of you. So you don't wanna be looking 45 when you're only 35 because you taking care of a baby. So you wanna be taking care of yourself. That's a really good tip. Take care of yourself. Get sleep. I know it's hard to get sleep when you got a little baby.
Right.
My
Yeah.
baby's almost 11 months, and I still be looking at her like, are we sleeping now? What are we doing? So yeah, you want to take care of yourself. Let people help you. These help with life, and it'll eventually help with milk supply too, because you'll want to nurse. You'll be able to breastfeed more and more and more because you'll feel like it. If you're not eating well, you're not sleeping well, you're not drinking enough water, you won't feel like breastfeeding. So you'll just be like, oh, she'll be all right, or he'll be all right, and you won't breastfeed, and then your milk supply will be going down. You're like, why is my milk supply going down? Because you're not breastfeeding enough, because you're too tired. You're
Yeah.
not eating, you don't feel like it. So you want to make sure your life and your body is able to breastfeed enough on a continual basis so that you'll feel like breastfeeding.
Yeah.
Yep. And to add to breastfeeding, it's a process. So you got to stick to it. You got to be patient with yourself. You have to give rooms for yourself to grow, to adapt and develop and allow your body to recover and do what it needs to do. If you forcing it, it's going to make you stress and you're going to be going to buy the first can of formula you can get. You got to be patient with yourself. Make small, realistic goals and overcome those goals week to week, day to day, whatever you need to do to stick to it because it's your journey.
Yeah.
Breastfeeding for me is my journey, and for
Yeah.
her, Rhonda, we're all different. And so we have to make sure that we put the good support and love around us and just be patient with ourselves. We're number one. You just had the baby. You got to recover.
Mm-hmm.
You got to take care of you. And if you're not taking care of you, how can you take care of your baby or anyone else?
And another thing, don't compare your baby to other people. People saying, "Oh, your baby's small," or "Your
Yeah.
baby's this." Don't compare your baby. You might be 5'5", your husband might be 5'7", your baby might be short. So don't compare. Don't be like, don't look at their baby like my baby not getting enough weight. I need to get my baby formula at 2 months because you feel like um, they're not as big as so and so's baby. When your baby might just be a smaller baby. Your baby's healthy. Your baby's sleeping. Your baby's getting milestones. Your baby's having enough diapers. Then your baby's okay. So don't compare your baby to other people when you know that you're giving the baby enough milk and your baby's gaining weight. So that's important too because you don't want to be in a race with other people's babies.
Yeah. And I feel like, you guys mentioned support. Yukina, I believe you said support. And that's so important. And we are probably talking to some moms who don't have the best support system. That's very realistic. But when you lean on friends and family and group chats to get information that, like you say, Yukina, it might not be your journey. Don't get discouraged because just I love how simple that was in saying it because it really is just that. I mean, you got to be patient, right? You're dealing with yourself, you're dealing with a growing baby. You don't want to rush something because then you could, create havoc, unnecessary havoc. But at the end of the day, get a support system is strong, absolutely. But if you don't have it with the father, if you don't have it with grandparents or siblings or someone who can help, the reason why you guys are so amazing is because they have you. We really do have these resources. So when you have the questions and you're like, oh, but my girl, she don't really know because we don't really have the same situation. Her baby didn't do this. Okay, that's cool. Her baby might not have done that. But we have Rondella, we have Yukina, we have Birthing Beautiful Communities who
We
you
have
can reach
support
out
groups.
to. Yeah, you have those supports. So you really do. You can't say you don't have the support. Physically in your home, you might not, but you really do have the support with women like yourselves that can really answer the questions and help you physically, emotionally, all that. So please, please, please make sure it's been scrolling, birthingbeautiful.org. The phone number has been scrolling. Real quick, I mean, is that the easiest way for someone watching to get in contact with you guys to create that support group and have those conversations?
We actually have support groups already, but we're trying to start some more support groups in the community, so that'll be coming soon. And they're calling a number though, and going to the website. We'll probably have more information out soon. But we already have our clients already do support groups weekly. We have different classes and support groups that our clients go to, and they really like it too, because there's other moms that might be going through the same thing that they're going through. And it's a no judgment zone, it's a safe zone, and it's sister talk, not just girlfriend talk. Sister
Yeah.
talk might be a little different because people might they might hold on, girl, let me tell you the real about that might not be right, but they're still all love.
Yeah.
Girlfriend talk might be, like, or your friends talking, they might not give you the real, but it's really nice. Our clients really like our classes, so
I love it. Yeah. Now this isn't a part of the conversation, but I did want to add it because again, I feel like we have new aspiring moms, new moms. And so why would someone want to choose a doula? Like, yeah, I wanted to add something to that, but like,
okay, so for instance, I just had a baby, and I was thinking, at first I was thinking, I'm a doula, I know what to do. And then I had a little health issues during my pregnancy, and I was like, oh man, I think I need a doula. And when I went into labor, so this is my fourth baby. I went into labor, but every pregnancy seems every labor seems so different. And when I went into labor, my doula was right there. She was putting signs on the wall. She was talking to the nurses for me. My husband, he's been in my birth too, but he's good, but he don't move like a doula does.
we need the
She
doula.
was giving me in a different position. She showed me something that I didn't even know to help with some of my pain. We did the different positions. She walked with me. She knew what to say to me when I was spazzing out. She knew how to comfort me. She it's just sometimes the doulas they try to be one step ahead of you. So we try to be one step ahead of moms. That's what I usually try to do. Like, are you thirsty? Do you need me to touch you? Do you need me just to talk to you? Do you want the lights off? We try to be that second voice for the mom's head to, like, whatever they need to help them get this baby down and get this baby comfortably into the world for them. So we really try to be there for them. And Yukina, she's been to a lot of births too, so
Yeah.
she can help.
And I just had a baby as well. So she's 4 months old.
Aww.
And so our doulas is having doulas because we understand the need and the importance of having someone there that is there for you. It's nothing like having somebody there that can non-biased, that can really voice your opinion and making sure your needs are met. It's a whole different field, just making sure you have that support system, especially for us as Black women. Sometimes being in the doctor's office or in the presence of people can be intimidating. And not only that, pregnancy in itself can be so much. It can be so overwhelming, thinking we have to do so much stuff. We have to get this and do that and worry if everything's about the baby. And it's like, what about me? I'm here too. What about my needs? And just because you have more than one baby doesn't mean, oh, you didn't did this before, girl. You good. You know what you're doing. No, I'm scared out of my mind because I have done this before, because I don't
Yeah.
know what my body's gonna do. I don't know how I'm gonna respond. I don't want nothing to happen. So you want to make sure you have the proper support there that can advocate for you. So all you have to do is worry about being present during your birth, and you don't have to worry about all this and answer all those questions and all of that stuff. You have your doula right there just to keep everybody at bay, kind of like your watchman. You can't come past security. You can't enter this zone. This is a safe zone for her. So you got it. You can't interrupt it. So it's honestly, if I can say, it's the bomb.com. And I know that's an old lame term, but that's okay. It is bomb to have a doula there to support you during your birth. I highly recommend it. I don't care who you are.
And
as a
even with the,
doula.
I'm sorry, you can't.
No,
Even with
it's
the
okay.
postpartum issues with moms. So I don't know if the listeners know or anybody else knows that Black women in this area, we're having a mortality issue. Babies are dying, we're dying, and we're having health issues that are really important right now. So that's something we also do as doulas. We help make sure the moms that they're having like headaches, they're having high blood pressure. We're making sure that they're checking themselves for this kind of stuff. We're like, so are you having a headache? What's your blood pressure like? How you feeling? Are you eating? Like, what's going on with you? Because sometimes these headaches are more serious than what we think. Sometimes this blood pressure can be more serious than what we think. So we're there to help them realize, because we're also, me and Yukina are also community health workers too. So we are there to know about the different issues that moms might be facing health wise. So we're on the watch for that too. So we know what things to look out for. And that's really serious too, because we sometimes family might not know, like, that headache is too much. That blood sugar, you might have high blood sugar, high blood pressure. So you might need to go back to the hospital, and don't let them turn you around. So when it comes down to the serious stuff, we are like, okay, go back to the hospital. Okay, don't let them tell you no. Okay, don't let them tell you that it's okay, you'll be all right. No, be right there, and reminding our clients, like, these can be serious issues. Yeah, that is too much bleeding. So we're there to help clients with that too.
I love
Yeah.
it. Yes, wanted to add something, Yukina?
Yes, too. And in regards to medical intervention, you, especially natural moms, they want to be natural through and through the whole entire process, or just even have an option to say, hey, if I want it, I'll ask for it. You don't want medicine pushed on you if you're thinking about going natural the whole entire way. And
Yeah.
your doula can advocate for you in the best fashion of that, where it doesn't become overwhelming for you, because those things can be triggers too to cause your blood pressure to elevate, because it's like, I really don't want to do this, or you start second guessing yourself. So you want to make sure, that your doula is able to be there to be able to articulate your needs to the doctor, especially when they're trying to provoke you to, if you're not progressing fast enough, and they're all of that worry and intimidation. So that just comes to just bog your mindset. It's good to just make sure you have someone there too, because it can be so intimidating, and not knowing the right and the wrong thing to do can risk the life of your baby and yourself. So
Yeah.
it's important to make sure you have someone that knows your needs, that know what you want, and can make sure they are there to stress it for you. And they don't want nothing from you, just to make sure that you and your baby is okay.
Absolutely. So, real quick before we wrap up, just a couple of things that stood out to me. If I were a new mom paying attention, we have moms and we have grandmothers and we have aunties and we have all these people who be like, "Nah, girl, we did it like this all these years, and this is how you need to do it." And who, no, this. But like you said, Yukina and Rondella, it is your body. It is your pregnancy. Maybe you want to take up on new traditions, or you want to do something different because you know that it would impact your body and your baby differently. There's nothing wrong with that. And that's why we have these resources. Also, another thing you said was, okay, maybe somebody watching this is their third baby, right? But this pregnancy might be different. This baby latching might be different. Everything about this pregnancy might be different from your first and your second. So there is absolutely nothing wrong with, just having peace of mind, being able to have resources like BBC and Rondella and Yukina, and being able to have these questions answered, to be able to have the in-person support. So get the hearsay out and just do the healthiest, best thing for you and your pregnancy and for you and your baby, and utilize this resource. We do have a question from Facebook. What are symptoms of postpartum? Crying for no reason or having weird thoughts?
You want to take that, Yukina, or you want me to go?
Oh, go ahead, Rhonda.
Okay, so if you're feeling like that you're crying and you can't control it, um, you feeling like that you're crying every day, you don't enjoy the stuff that you usually enjoy, you feel like you're just sitting on the couch looking at the wall. It's hard for you to get up. It's hard for you to take a shower every day. Not just because the baby's there because of time, but you physically don't want to get up. You physically can't stop crying, and you feeling like you not attached to the baby at all. Like it's hard for you to feed the baby. It's hard for you to actually care for the baby. You don't want to hold the baby. These are red flags that you need to talk to your provider. If you have a doula, talk to your doula, and you want to get some help for it because it's common. It's not something that you did, not something that makes you a bad mom. It's something that you can. It might need be hormones. It might just be your postpartum depression. It happens to a lot of people. So if someone's having those issues, reach out. Don't fight alone. You don't have to be alone. It's so many people that can help you. If you feel like your partner won't understand, talk to your provider. If you feel like your provider won't understand, call Birth and Beautiful Communities. We'll connect you to our counselors because we have a team of counselors too. Or that's what we're for, the postpartum doulas. We don't do counseling, but we'll stick with you and we'll try to get you connected to some counselors. So it's important that you try to reach out to somebody because it can happen and it's not your fault. So don't feel like embarrassed or anything like that because us as women, especially Black women, we feel like we have to just be these warriors. We have to fight the fight. We just got to get over it. And that's what our grandmas went through. That's what our great grandmas went through. They went through worse. We will be all right. No, you don't have to do that. You don't have to be a martyr. You don't have to just be struggling in silence or suffering in silence. You can get help. So please, if you're crying every day, you can't control it. It's okay to cry a little bit because you adjusting. But if you crying, I try to tell my clients, if you give yourself 2 minutes to cry, but at that 3-minute mark, you still crying and you can't control it, you gotta talk to somebody because you got to take control. And if it's out of control for you, you got to talk to somebody. So please reach out to somebody because we don't want anybody being alone. And it's detrimental to our babies if we're not healthy too. So do it for yourself, do it for your babies and your family, please.
Absolutely. This has been a great conversation. Thanks so much for sharing this information. Thank you so much because we appreciate you guys tuning in. And because this conversation is so great, please make sure you're sharing this. If you're watching right now and maybe you're not the mom that's expecting, or maybe you know someone who is dealing with postpartum and you're like, you know what? She needs to see this. They need to see this. Share this video. It's going to be on our YouTube. It's going to be on our Facebook. It'll be on our website. And then, of course, please utilize the information that's been scrolling. The number right there, 216-307-1538, and the website, birthingbeautiful.org, because Rondella, Yukina, you guys are amazing. What you do is amazing. What BBC does for the community and our women and our pregnancies and our babies is just amazing. So a really awesome resource you have literally right here. And this Latch Party has been great and very special. So thank you guys so much. If there's anything you want to add before we go, feel free. But I just want to say thank you because I know that this was very great information. And so thank you.
Yeah, and we're not charging moms either. We don't say, oh, you owe $50. You owe $50 or you owe us $500 or something like that. So this is something that we're doing. And through insurance, I don't know really how it goes, but it's not something that our moms do pay by birth or something like that. So that's something that people might think this is a luxury thing. No, we're trying to make this a common thing. We're trying to make this available for our moms in the community because they need it. They need a lot of moms need the support.
Right. Absolutely.
Yes, the services is free, available for moms, depending on your insurance. But anybody that wants to sow and donate into the community to benefit a mom that may need that additional support, is always awesome and beautiful to do as well.
Yeah, we definitely take donations.
Absolutely. But yes, if they're looking for service, yes, they can redeem a doula, postpartum care, lactation support, everything that we offer through their insurance.
I love the donation thing too, because at the end of the day, again, there's probably a lot of women, again, who feel alone. They feel like they're going through this alone. They don't know how they're going to do it alone, but you're not really alone. It takes a village, and you guys are literally providing that village. So shout out to Birthing Beautiful Communities. And until the next Latch Party, ladies, enjoy your beautiful babies that you guys just had in your families, and have a great week and weekend. And to all of you watching, we appreciate you. If you still have comments and stuff like that, leave them in the comments, because next time we will address them. And again, share this video, and y'all have an amazing day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.